A beautiful day. The sun peeks through the trees, casting long shadows on the forest floor. A soft breeze rustles the leaves. Birds sing in the distance. Rivers flow gently over smooth rocks. The world seems alive, vibrant, and full of harmony. Everything is as it should be. But imagine, what would happen if all animals disappeared? Poof! Gone. Nature as we know it would cease to exist. At first, everything seems fine. The trees keep standing tall, the rivers still run, and the wind continues to blow. People go about their daily lives, unaware that something critical is missing. But it's only a matter of time before the cracks start to show. The bees are gone. The bees, once buzzing happily from flower to flower, are no more. Flowers begin to fade. Without bees, there's no pollination. Without pollination, plants can't reproduce. Slowly, the fields that were once alive with color and scent become quiet. The fruit trees that relied on them, the vegetables in your garden, the flowers that brightened your world, one by one, they begin to wither. And it's not just flowers that are affected. Fruit trees, which provided so much nourishment, slowly lose their ability to bear fruit. Orchards stand empty. Gardens grow barren. Even the food that people rely on, like grains, starts to dwindle. The earth's ability to replenish itself is stunted. Without bees, the ecosystem is no longer able to function as it once did. The fabric of life begins to fray. The forests start to fade. Without animals like squirrels, birds, and bears, forests struggle to maintain their health. These creatures scatter seeds, spread plant life, and keep the cycle of regeneration moving. Without them, new growth is stunted. Imagine a forest slowly losing its vibrancy. Trees that once spread their branches wide now stand tall and barren. The leaves that once colored the landscape turn brown and shrivel, falling to the ground in silence. The air, once fresh and clean from the healthy plants, begins to feel stagnant. Without animals to maintain the balance, the forest ecosystem begins to collapse. The trees lose their ability to grow. The soil starts to dry out, and the forest loses its power to purify the air. The once strong roots that held the earth together begin to wither. The water runs dry. Rivers, lakes, and oceans once brimming with life begin to change. The fish that once swam in the rivers, the amphibians that hopped along the banks, and the insects that buzzed above the water's surface are all gone. The delicate balance of life that once kept the waters fresh and flowing is now broken. Without the natural life cycle in the water, the ecosystems of rivers and oceans begin to fail. The waters begin to stagnate. The oxygen in the water dissipates. And soon, the fish that once thrived are gone. The nutrient cycles that kept the waters healthy and alive are disrupted. Without these cycles, the aquatic life and the world that relies on it begins to die. The soil crumbles. Without worms, insects, and other creatures that once worked tirelessly in the soil, the land becomes lifeless. These tiny creatures, though often unseen, were the backbone of healthy soil. They aerated the earth, broke down organic matter, and enriched the soil with nutrients, making it fertile for plants to grow. Now, without them, the earth begins to dry out. The ground hardens, and crops that once thrived in the soil start to wither and die. The soil becomes barren, unable to sustain the life that once called it home. Without the regeneration of plants and nutrients in the soil, the entire cycle of life is interrupted. Oxygen fades. A once lush forest begins to dry out. The plants, once full of life, are gone. Without plants to absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, the balance of gases in the atmosphere begins to shift. Oxygen levels slowly drop. The air feels heavier, harder to breathe. Humans, who have relied on plants and trees for the air we breathe, now face a world where even the simplest act, taking a breath, becomes more and more difficult. The sky, once bright and clear, starts to feel oppressive. The air no longer smells fresh. Without plants and trees to purify the atmosphere, the world begins to suffocate. The animal kingdom's absence echoes. Now, imagine a world where all the animal sounds are gone. No birds chirping, no wolves howling, no elephants trumpeting. The earth falls silent. This is the sound of nature collapsing in on itself. The predators that once kept ecosystems in check, without them, prey populations explode, and the plants they feed on are devastated. Herbivores, once kept in balance by natural predators, run wild. The plants they depend on can't regenerate fast enough. With no carnivores, the delicate equilibrium of nature is lost. Every species, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, played a role in maintaining that balance. Without them, the food chains break, the relationships between organisms collapse, and life as we know it begins to fall apart. The earth loses its pulse. The world becomes quieter. The birds stop singing. The rivers dry up. The air grows heavy. The land that once thrived with life is now barren. The once vibrant forests are replaced by dead trees. The oceans are empty, and the skies are still. Humans, too, feel the weight of the absence of nature. The world around them, once so full of life and movement, is now quiet and still. The joy of walking through a forest, hearing the rustling of leaves and the chirping of birds, becomes a distant memory. The world begins to feel emptier, colder. But it's not too late. Nature is resilient. It can recover, but only if we take the steps now to protect the delicate balance that exists between animals, plants, and the earth. Imagine a world where we don't take nature for granted, where we protect the bees, plant trees, clean our rivers, and ensure that every creature, big or small, has a place in this world. Without animals, without nature, the earth loses its soul. The ecosystems collapse. The beauty of life in all its forms begins to fade. The earth's heartbeat grows weaker, and soon, the very fabric of life starts to unravel. But with a little care, a little effort, and a lot of respect for the balance of nature, we can ensure that life continues to thrive. Let's not wait until it's too late. The world, with all its creatures, is a gift. Let's protect it before silence takes over. Because without them, life would fall silent, and the earth, though it may continue to spin, would lose its pulse. If you care about nature and want to see a world where life thrives, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Together, we can make a difference.